Hey YouTube. So I've got the two frames in the garage. I think I had mentioned that on my last video. And right now what I need to do is I need to transfer this torsion bar frame that holds the torsion bar and loads them from here over to my new frame. And man, oh man, I'm having a really hard time. I was using a hammer, a small hammer. I have another hammer coming, a bigger one. Hopefully I can drive these out, but the keys are loose and the load is off the torsion bar. But as you can see on the ground there's so much rust and stuff. And these things have been in here for, I'm assuming, 26 years. So it's going to be a real nightmare getting them out of there. But I do need to get them out regardless, so that I can take this frame. This frame is in good shape, so I'm not going to make one of these. I'm just going to use this. I'll clean it up, sandblast it, and paint it gray and put it on my frame. Now the transmission mount, that's another story. You can see that thing's shot. I actually had welded this piece, this angle iron goes underneath and holds the transmission up on both sides. I had to do that because it just, you know, I mean, you can see it there, it just rusted to nothing. There was nothing holding it, so I put some angle irons underneath it about a year ago. I knew I was going to have to do this work to this truck if I was going to salvage it, and I do want to salvage it, and obviously I've gone pretty far and gotten pretty far with it. So anyway, these torsion bars, once you get the keepers out underneath, I made a tool, where do I have that? I made a tool from angle irons here, and a wheel puller, or not a wheel puller, but a harmonic balancer puller that I can unload the torsion bar. Everybody on YouTube seems to make a big deal out of these things. The bar only moves about a half of an inch, you know, in as far as rotation, not even rotation, just the arm that's inside there only moves about a half of an inch. So I don't see what the big deal with these is, except for getting them out. On the bottom there's what's in there is there's a keeper in here and this nut, or this bolt, and when the keeper's set in place, the bolt is what pushes against the arm on the torsion bar and forces it to have tension in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. So that's replaces the springs on the truck. You can see there's no springs in there. The torsion bar is what gives you the spring action. It seems to work good, and one thing about torsion bars compared to older cars is as the car gets older they still don't make any noise. Years ago the car springs would drive you crazy because they would be squeaking all over the place. So I've gotten the keepers out of both of them, you know, this one and the other side, but that little hammer I have there isn't doing nothing for budging these. So I'm going to try and I have a bigger hammer that my son's going to bring home, so I can use it to see if I can't drive them out. If I can't drive them out, then I'm going to have to burn them off so that I can get this frame down, or else I'm going to be stopped from doing any more work. So hopefully I can drive them out tonight once he gets home. And yeah, I've been spraying them down every couple hours to make sure that they're as saturated as I can get them with some of the WD-40 stuff, but I don't know if that's going to help. So anyway, it's not quite as easy as it shows on a lot of the YouTube channels where, you know, they're working on fairly new trucks and all they're doing is raising or lowering the truck. I want to take them completely out so I can work with them. Even if I only get the back end here off and the front, if I couldn't get the front out, I could still, if I could get the back out, I could still move this frame onto my frame and still put them back in when I put the frames together. but I have to see yet. Yeah, so I want to get that torsion bar frame in and the transmission frame, and then once I do that, I'll put the exhaust system sort of temporarily onto my frame, just so it's hanging enough that I can match them up later, because there's a real short distance between, you know, the frame here and the exhaust pipe. I don't think there's an 1.5 inch clearance. Obviously it was rubbing on there. So that's where I'm at so far, and then I'll be working on the front end. I want to replace once I get the frames put together, I got to replace some of these. I think the lower control arms have to be replaced. I'll take them all apart and look at them. I know I need new shocks, that's for sure, and the bushings and all are pretty much shot. I don't know if this one doesn't move, but I noticed the one on the other side was moving pretty much. I'll show you that. I'm going to pull up and down on the wheel, or the brake drum. The disc brake. You can see that it's moving there pretty much. And not only that, what a time trying to get these lug nuts off of here. These are steel lug nuts, and the wheels are made out of an aluminum alloy. And I forget what the term is. Maybe somebody who might know a little bit more about metallurgy might understand this, but what happens is this steel literally bonds itself, because of the pores in the steel are harder than what the surface of the aluminum is. That literally bonds itself to the aluminum on those wheels. And I had to heat every single lug nut with a torch to get it off. Every single one of them. And some of them, like this one, isn't too bad. You can see the ends are fairly square and stuff on it. But there were a couple of them that were really, you can see that it was pushing hard on that to get that off. There were some of them that, one or two of them just almost melted apart. I actually had to drive with a hammer, a smaller socket over top of it, just so I could grab it enough to get it out. But they are out, and I'm going to replace those wheels. I mean, those wheels look nice when they're cleaned up, but I don't want aluminum wheels. I'm going to just go back to steel wheels. At least it's something that if I have a flat I can change, because I never would have been able to change these. I literally had a 4-foot bar on top of my very long, I have a very long breaker bar, and I had a 4-foot bar on top of that, and I could not break them loose without heating them. So looks like I got to replace these brake lines and everything. So it's turning from a rusty frame replacement into a total reconstruction. So anyway, that's where I'm at so far. So I hope you're enjoying the videos, whoever sees them. Have a good day. Bye.